Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I mean, everywhere I go on the internet, it's all Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, how Kamala Harris is black and how she's not black, how Donald Trump is or some are questioning her blackness and all that, and how some people think black people are not smart enough, probably because they are trying to support Kamala Harris. And I am going to say this, and this is what I stand for. You see, when it comes to politics, there is no permanent friend or no permanent enemy when it comes to politics, right? Just be open minded to discuss politics. Now, let's talk about how people think some black people are not smart because they won't put in for Kamala Harris and all that. See, I am not going to force anybody to vote for anybody or tell anybody to vote for somebody. If you choose to vote for Trump, go and vote for Trump. If you choose to vote for Kamala Harris, go and vote for Kamala Harris. But do not come on the internet and try to tell people whom to vote for, right? Because a lot of people are like, making it look like it is by force to vote a particular person. And please, enough of trying to put people down or probably trying to call people unsmart, like people that people are dumb. Sorry, to call people dumb, probably because their view and your view do not align. We all can do better. It is politics. The person that you are advocating for might disappoint you. Let's get into this video.
Something that I've been wanting to speak on, and I don't know if other people have watched it as well, and that is the prevalence of non-black people and in some cases people of color who are speaking out about black people's choice to support Vice President Kamala Harris in the presidential election, right? I just saw a video that was a stitch of someone who said that if Americans choose to vote for Kamala Harris, then they are choosing to vote for somebody who has expanded the genocide that's happening in Palestine to the worst levels ever, yada, 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 right? First and foremost, Kamala Harris did not drop not one fucking bomb in Gaza. And I got to say this as a black man because there's oftentimes been black people against the world. So let me go ahead and say that. The video in question, and I'm not stitching it because, you know what, I'm trying not to give people visibility who I feel like don't deserve it, but I'm going to speak on it. There's a lot of people that don't realize how much shit black people take, not just here in America, but in our own communities and neighborhoods. And everybody wants us to be peaceful and mindful and, unify around what they want us to unify for, right? Again, black people have said, we don't agree with what's happening in Palestine. Black people have said, we think what has happened in Palestine has been horrific. It's a genocide. Black people have said that. But black people have also said, we've never voted for the relationship that the United States has with Palestine. We've never voted for the relationship that the United States has with Israel. And there are some of us, myself included, that knows the United States foreign policy well enough to know how shit works. But I need people who are not black, okay? And I'm not just talking about white people. I'm talking about people, because the person's video, she looked to be, and I don't want to misidentify her, she looked to be of Middle Eastern descent, right? Ethnicity-wise, right? Remember, the same way you may feel about Palestine, we feel about Jackson, Mississippi. We feel about Charleston, South Carolina. We feel about Montgomery and Birmingham, Alabama. We feel about numerous unnamed cities in the southeastern part of the United States. We feel about urban centers where black people are pretty much herded into certain segments of that community, and that's where we're forced to stay. We feel that way about that. We also feel that we see a lot of y'all, and by y'all I mean people of color, who don't align with black people. If we're gonna start getting out here and folks are gonna start smelling themselves, then let's go all the way out. Okay? Some of you align more so with the white majority as Americans than you do with the other ethnic minorities. Yeah, you'll set up a store in our neighborhood, but that doesn't mean that you align with our community or community's values. And nor should you, nor should the expectation be. Let's just go ahead and say that. But what you're not getting ready to do is hop on TikTok or any other app and try to admonish black people for supporting a black woman who is a part of a white system that we're all trying to figure out our ways to dismantle. Okay? Especially when, if the shoe was on the other foot, y'all do nothing visibly to help us in our times of need. Right? When Jackson, Mississippi didn't have clean water, I didn't see folks, persons of color, raising funds to go help those people. I didn't see people changing their profile pics or putting the flag of the state of Mississippi on their profile. I didn't see that. But you want to force black people who already have difficult choices anyway. You want to force black people to just what? Sit back and allow who to become president, and then what for your area? And that's the lunacy. But more so, I want to address the audacity. Some of y'all, not everybody, some of y'all need to check yourselves, because yeah, you are traveling dangerously close to white entitlement.
Okay, this is the last time that I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris. This is the last time I'm going to speak on people from India. And then after this video, I'm going to Five Guys and I'm going to get me a cheeseburger. I just got a taste for cheeseburger. I don't eat meat too often like that, but it got a taste for cheeseburger. But it's just unfortunate that black Americans are so gullible. And in many cases, there are black Americans that are not too bright, to the point where it's easy for foreigners to come in and deceive black Americans to do things that would benefit them and not black Americans. Now, there's a movie that came out a while ago with Denzel Washington, and it's titled Mississippi Masala, and it's talking about racism in India and how people from India really feel about the so-called black Americans. I mentioned in a prior video that some of the most racist people that I have ever encountered were people from India. Yes, they may have dark skin or melanin in their skin, but they don't see themselves the same as black Americans. They don't see themselves as black American unless there's something that they want. If you have something they want, for example, you will see them set up business in the black community, and the black community would support them and spend with them and build them up. But if you ever try to date one from India, they believe in dating within their own race. They'll tell you like, oh, we're all black, we're the same, we have to stick together. But then when you try to talk to one of them, or you try to date one of them, then they'll come out and they'll show their true self. Now, again, I've met quite a few Indian people from India, and they treat black Americans different, okay? They don't like you. Unless, of course, there's something that they need or they want. Now, Kamala Harris is not black, okay? And I just posted a video where, and she used it to her advantage, because I posted a video Well, her and Joe Biden was saying that she was the first Indian, from South India, vice president. But she would come in the black community and speak ghetto at ghetto. She never talk about policies and what she's going to do for the black community. She just comes, she gets celebrities to get you all excited. They'll have like a cookout, or Kirk Franklin, they had a thing in Washington, and she got up on stage. It's all a performance. It's an act to get you to vote for them. Now, this is what I see that's going to happen if Kamala Harris happens to become president. She is going to look out for people from India. She's going to take care of those people, okay? Because you have a lot of what they call Indian Americans that's from India that's celebrating that not only do they have the first vice president in the United States, but now they're about to potentially have the first Indian president of the United States. And you know that Kamala Harris is going to do for her people, okay? That's the ones that she's going to do for. You're going to find that she's going to take interest in India. And although she's not really running the country, those that's running the country in the background for her, she's going to look out for India. She's going to take care of her people. When it comes to the so-called black Americans, again, you're going to be left holding the bag. That's what's going to happen. And it just sickens me that black Americans are so gullible and so easy to deceive by other races of people. And I mentioned in a prior video that the only people that's really, and you got to be careful too, because all skin folk is not kinfolk. Everybody is not a brother. Every brother is not a brother because of color. They're not, okay? So you're going to have some melanated people. You're going to have Africans. You're going to have people from India. And they're going to come and they're going to play the brother role. We all the same. But you don't ever see no Indians out there or people from Africa protesting. Like when black Americans are protesting, you see white people out there. You may see a couple of Asians out there, but you don't see nobody from Africa. But they tell you that we're the same. They'll tell you that we're brothers and sisters and we need to get along together. Okay? But you don't see them out there protesting. They don't, ruffle no feathers for you. They don't do that. Okay? So you got foreigners from different countries that's gonna come here, and Africans actually practice sounding and acting like black Americans. They'll talk about you. They'll talk down to you. They'll talk about how they can speak multiple languages and you can't. But they'll act like you, they'll sound like you, they'll dress like you, and you're looking at them and you see another melanated person like you and you think that they're like you, and they're not. You take that woman from, I think it was CBS, that interviewed Trump. From what I hear, she's not black American. She's from Africa. But to look at her, if you don't pay close attention, you would think that she's a black American woman. You take somebody like, what's that female named? Joy Reid. She's not a black American woman, okay? She's also from Africa, but she's got most to say when it comes to black issues. Although they may not see themselves as black unless it benefits them politically. So you got Joy Reid, you have that news reporter, and Africans would come here and they would get involved in politics. You have people like Ilhan Omar involved in politics, and look what she's protesting for. She protests for her own people. She may get out there and shout Black Lives Matter, but then when it comes to her own people, she expects black Americans to get out there and raise sand for her people. You take Ocasio-Cortez. She ain't doing nothing for her people, right? But look at what they call the squad. They're not doing anything for black people. Now, they would get out there and they would support black women aborting their children. They would get out there and they would protest and say, nah, you know, women have the right to health care and abort your babies and whatnot. But you don't see them out there aborting their babies. You don't see that. And black females and there are some black men that's playing right into that trap, right? So it's just kind of sad sitting back watching what's happening, because in this day and time, you don't know who's who, right? So you got a lot of foreigners following blackness instead of policies. You're not looking for policies. You're just looking at blackness. Oh, the first black woman, the first black this, the first black Barack Obama, the first black president. But look where he's from. He's from Kenya. You know, so, and what did Barack Obama do for black people when he was in office? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He did a lot for gays. And now every time you turn around, if you work in the workplace, all you see is rainbows. That's all you hear. And they work in that gay thing 24/7. You know? So if you're gay, if you're transgender, if you're getting an abortion in the black community, oh, they would, because they don't want black men and black women together. They don't want you to procreate together. So what's better than two black men together or two black females together? You're not procreating. You're not making more of you, or going to abort your babies. You're not making more of you. You're not producing, but everybody else is producing. All right. So you're going to have some Africans. You're going to have people from India that's dark complexion, and they're going to come along and they're going to tell you like, oh, give her a shot, give her a try. You need to vote for Kamala Harris. She's black. You know, she's like us. They're doing it for their own purpose. Because if you listen to those foreigners and you go vote for Kamala Harris and she get in office, she's going to take care of them, because those are her people. She's not going to take care of you. Okay? So Trump, and this, again, this may be the last helping hand that may come to you. I remember the last time Trump ran for president, right? He wanted to bring the black preachers in, and he told the black community, hey, come and talk to me, Trump Tower, you know, come and talk to me, tell me what you need, tell me what I can do for you. And guess what? None of the preachers did that, maybe a couple, a handful, and they were ridiculed by the black community. So Trump didn't have an opportunity to do anything for black people. He did very minute for black people, you know, especially when it comes to the HBCUs, you know. But he really couldn't work for black people because you had too many black Americans that were hostile towards him because of what they were trained or conditioned to believe by the media and by the Democrat Party. Just like Chicago. Chicago, you're always hearing about black people killing each other. So now Trump comes to Chicago, and what does the black media do? And the black mayor chase him away, because now that's tapping into their income, right? Because they've been helping those illegal immigrants, not black Americans. See, so they do things to benefit them, you know? They do things to benefit them. And they would come and pretend, oh, we black, we all black, we all black. And then you vote for that Indian woman, she get in office, and she gonna take care of her people, not black Americans. So you better wise up. I'm voting for Trump. I don't care what y'all say or what you think. Trump 2024.
So this is all I got from this video, and I am following Hebrew Free Thinker, right? I have posted some of his video here on my channel. I appreciate him as a content creator, but we are going to agree to disagree this time around, and no disrespect. I appreciate all you said, right? But sometimes we also need to let people do what they want to do, because it looks like it is now a do or die something, or I mean, like, you know, everybody is all coming out to give his or her opinion. I am not saying no opinion is bad or something, but I think a lot of black people are coming out by themselves. Nobody is forcing anybody to come out. Nobody is forcing, the way nobody is forcing you also to support support Donald Trump. It's also the way a lot of people, black people, came out to support Kamala Harris, right? I think bringing in Indians, bringing in Africans into this is not the solution to it, right? I know the fact that black people, they've always been all out for people's right from the civil art movement and all that to this very moment. They are always there for every other people. But in the end, people do not support them like they should support them. I know that for sure. But I also know that anti-blackness is something that will never end, right? Both from the up to the lower part, Indian age, all of them, they all have their, even then they have black people among them, but they still do not respect them. That is something I know for sure, right? But saying that some black people are not smart or kind of not intellectually capable of knowing whom to vote for and whom not to vote for is not true. That I disagree with you because politics is something that sometimes we may not be on the same party or we may not talk the same, we may not have the same view, right? But the major thing is that we are able to listen to one another and understand this is good and this is not bad. Like the way you are supporting Trump. For black people that choose not to support Trump, they have their reasons for not wanting to support him. For black people that also choose not to support Kamala Harris, right? They have their reasons for not wanting to support her. And saying that Donald Trump could not do enough for black people because black people did not give him time. Like what were black people supposed to do or what time were they supposed to give him? Or opportunity? I don't understand it. Like what were they supposed to do to make him do job? Or to make him work, okay, not just to make him work for black community. So it means like the second term that he is coming into, like he is probably going to do better for black community. See, I am not against anybody, but have you all not heard about Project 2025? How it is going to affect so many people. You said Obama is Kenya, but is he only Kenya? Right? Is he only Kenya? Is he not also American? So there are some things we say sometimes, and it's kind of questionable, right? Because someone born in the United States is absolutely a citizen according to the law that operates there. Even if I am an African, right, and I end up giving birth to whatever there, the child automatically, as it is according to law. So I do not have any rights to say because you are migrant, you are a migrant, but also you are also American citizen. So saying Obama is Kenyan did not sit well because he is Kenyan and also American, right? So now the major thing is that everybody is saying Kamala Harris is not going to work, which are not going to do anything for black people because she is going to focus on her own people. I am not doubting that. Sincerely speaking, I am not even for a minute. But how sure are you that all this Project 2025 is not going to affect black people majorly if they get into power, if Donald Trump gets into power? I want us to reason left and right. That is the pro and the cons, advantage and the disadvantages, right? So we can collectively come say that if we do this way, it's going to work. If we do it the other way, it is not going to work. So number one is that as it stands, nothing is guaranteed right now. And let's talk about abortion. See, I think people do not have any rights to tell people what to do with their body. That is what I think. The way you are a man, I think people should not make rules on how you use your body. The same thing with people that also probably got pregnant through one way or the other and decided that they do not want that child to stay, right? I think they also have right to decide if a child will stay or if a child will not stay, because that is their right to their body, right? I am not an advocate for an abortion, but I am saying that people should do what they want with their body. There is a whole lot already going on, especially with the Project 2025, that it's really like going to take away so many people's rights. I mean, I do not see democracy in that book. Like I keep saying, I am not advocating for anybody or I am not campaigning for anybody. Whoever, I keep saying it here, whoever people choose to vote for, you all have rights. I mean, that is your civil right. You all have right to exercise your voting right. It is your right. But all I am asking for is enough of uh, every day coming out to blame one party or the other. Eyes on the goal. And I am hoping that in the if there is anything that I am so much concerned about is making sure that Black people, most especially, get everything that they've been looking for, starting from having all the rights, dismantling the system that has been oppressing them, ending the police brutality, and getting reparations. All these are what I am after. And that is what I am like. I am so much interested in that. And also seeing unity among us. That is what I promote, right? And I am hoping that eventually we get it. That does not mean that everybody will be in unity if I am advocating for unity. I don't know if that makes sense. We might get 50, 60% of it and the rest on, but at least majority carries the vote. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.